What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 21 of the Pentagon Challenge on Beijing. Well, with Beijing Institute of Technology. Gosh, I can never get my intro perfect. Anywho, or anyway, if you want to be proper English. 30 games have passed. We are at the end of our 4th season with the club, and it's been a pretty successful season. And just going to straight out show you the league table. We ended up finishing 5th. We had a tough run of results at the end of the season, and we did struggle to pick up points. Unfortunately for us, we did finish 4 points, or rather 3 points away from 4th place, which is a little bit disappointing because the top 4 get European football. However, I have a feeling, and I'm actually going to check this now, and I should have checked this sooner, but I have a feeling the winner of the Chinese FA Cup get a spot in the Asian Champions League. Let's just check this. Where's the rules? Where is the rules? Winner qualifies to the Champions League. So the winner of the FA Cup does get a place in the Champions League, so that's good. So we're still there with a chance of really cracking on and qualifying for Asia. So anyway, enough rambling about that. That's just the kind of whole situation with Europe and stuff. This was our final 6 games of the season in the league. As you can see, 2 losses, 3 draws and only 1 win. Looking at the results, Renhe and Guangzhou, 2 very good teams. I mean, Renhe are... They're in 10th place. That's been a really bad season for them. So I think we lost to them 4-3 or 3-2, and then Guangzhou were 2nd in the league. So to lose 3-2 to Renhe, maybe a little bit disappointing. But we were away from home, so it wasn't going to be easy. And then against Guangzhou, a 3-4 draw. I'll show the highlights for this game, because if we're only going to show the highlights of the win, this is going to be a very short episode. But yeah, this was a interesting game. Miguel getting on the score sheet, as well as Hun So and Hung Ho. I think we opened the scoring actually here just 9 minutes in. Miguel there coming in. Of course, he is the Brazilian kind of 5th foreign player of my team, who, because you can only start with 4 foreign players, he's very often on the bench. However, he got a little bit of an opportunity at the end of this season just to have a few games starting, and he did score there, which was nice. They did equalise just 23 minutes later, or 23 minutes into the game. And I mean, Guangzhou, the team who, I don't know if you can remember a few years ago, but they were the ones basically dominating our league. And that strike by Kung Ho, I literally jumped out my seat and started doing like a little party dance when he volleyed that in a corner only half cleared by them, and he was just lurking on the volley. So yeah, but I mean, Guangzhou are a very good team. They've underperformed this year, coming 2nd really. They got knocked out by Beijing in the other FA Cup semi-final. So we know that Beijing are going to be a tough opposition, I guess, to play against in the final. So anyway, we went into the break 2-2, and I was fairly optimistic. We were playing well this game, to be fair. We just didn't create enough chances. We matched them in terms of possession and having the ball. We just never really seemed to be able to get that kind of final penetrative pass through their defence to get the goals that we needed. But anyway, they scored, I believe, here to make it 3-2 to them, and so that was the first time that they'd, I guess, had the lead in the game. And I tried to mix things up in the hope that I could change something, but it didn't really work, as it immediately backfired, and Wheelie got on the score sheet for them with a neat finish. So I then had to mix the tactics up some more, and unfortunately for us, with only 30 minutes left in the game, we were only able to get 1 goal back, and so the game ended 4-3. But Hun So here, you know, he's a class act, Hun So. He's been fantastic this year, and he really showed some quality there with that finish. So anyway, that was a 4-3 draw there. Moving on with our other fixtures, we drew 1-1 with Shandong, who are, I think they're 1 place behind us in the league. They are indeed. They're in 6th, we're in 5th, so 1-1 against them wasn't too bad. At home, maybe one of these games where we, at the time, I was like, oh, that's an okay result, but in the grand scheme of things, it's one of the reasons why we didn't finish in the top 4. Next game was against Chengdu. I'm going to show this game just because Chengdu are a very good team, and they are top of the league. And they have in fact won the league, and we did go 1-0 down and managed to get a goal back. And looking at the stats, we probably matched them fairly well. If anything, they just created a bit more with the ball, which is kind of a general pattern that kind of seems to be emerging with our team. But the reason we score so many is because we have really clinical strikers. So We really like to work the ball into the box. But anyway, 9 minutes in, ball came in, back post, Habo there, bit of poor marking. Kamas is able to just kind of get goal side of him and bury it. And then just before the... why are we getting a highlight here? Why? Did someone get sent off and I not remembered? Or is it set to key? What? I don't even know. I don't even know. Okay, I'm just going to skip to the goal here. Okay, so our goal came just before the end of the first half, and we managed to cling on for, I guess, an important 1-1 draw. And against a team like Chengdu, that's a really good result, especially at home. I mean, very often when you're at home in a game like this, there's almost a pressure on you to succeed, but the players played well, and you know, we worked the ball round well here, and Bin Bin managed to hook the ball into play. I don't think anyone was really anticipating that, and ball's hooked to back post, and it's just a nice easy finish with the keeper completely out of position. So that was that game. That made it 1-1. And going into our last 2 games of the season, we were 3 points adrift of the teams ahead of us. So we had to go to Dalian, who were not an easy team to play against. They are, I'm not sure, where are they in the league? They're 9th in the league and away from home. That's not going to be an easy result to kind of try and grind out a win against them. But I feel as if we did an okay job of getting the win here. We were somewhat fortunate to beat them in terms of chances created, but as you can see, we really dominated play in the centre of the park. And I said it slightly earlier, but we just have really clinical strikers, and when chances fall to them, they're very often really good chances to take. And this was another kind of Route 1 goal. Zeus, the target man, the guy in the air, you know, you can't beat him in this league. He's 2 metres tall. Insane aerial stats, and he's able just to nod it on for Hunso to burst through with speed. So that was 1-0, and it meant going into the last game of the season, we were, we were actually only, I think it was only 1 point behind, we were only 1 point behind Tianjin, but we knew we had to play Guangzhou, and if we won, it'd be enough. Unfortunately for us, we only drew, and they were able to win their game, and so we have to console ourselves to a 5th place finish. But nevertheless, this was a really good kind of performance by the team. We came from behind twice, and looking at the stats again, we don't seem to create that many chances. That might have to be something that I look into, like maybe trying to reprimand, I guess, and try and fix in the second half. In the next season, just something to look at, maybe trying to get the ball into the box a bit more frequently, and maybe just try the killer ball a little bit more often. But anyway, they took the lead here. Poor marking by our defence in the centre, very easily converted by Shui, and that was a little bit annoying, but we did come back almost immediately, I think. Did we come back immediately? I'm now paranoid. No, we didn't, in fact. We went 2-0 down. Okay. I swear it was 1-0 and then we went 3-1 down. But apparently we went 2-0 down and then went 3-1 down. But anyway, they scored again there, as you see, hitting us really on the break from the corner. We didn't really find any shape, but we did well, considering we were playing a team like Guangzhou, to come back as we did, because they are a very good team. Zeus, in fact, getting this first goal for us here that kind of sparked somewhat of a comeback. But they are a very good team. They're a team that I'm surprised they aren't winning the league, considering the players they have. One thing I've noticed is, you may remember in a few episodes ago, it was a while ago, but I talked about how some of the players at some of the bigger clubs were getting paid like 1 million times more than any of my players. As it turns out, a lot of those players are very old, and so a lot of them are starting to kind of retire and stuff, which I don't know what it means for them, if it just means they're going to bring in loads of kind of young players for, I guess, £110,000 of wages, or if it's going to be cut off their budget or what. But anyway, this was another one of our goals, I think. Was it? Or was it one of their goals? I don't even know. No, in fact, they score here. They hit us on the break really fast. We probably throw up a few too many men. Had set ourselves to go a little bit more aggressive, having gone 2-0 down. And they hit us on the break here. Ball comes in and it's somehow bundled in. We had 4 players in the box then, and one of them's really got to deal with that. So that was a little bit annoying. But Guangzhou were actually on a 12-game unbeaten run at this point, so to draw with them twice in our last few games is certainly something that we can take some positives from. First goal in return came from Hunso, which made it 2-3, and we were able to convert one with about 15 minutes left of the game. Ball comes into the box, falls to Zeus's feet, and he just hammers it in on the volley. That was insane. But anyway, all that meant that was, after, I guess, a somewhat shady and a little bit disheartening finish to the season, we did finish 5th. That means that we do finish outside the Champions League spots, which is a little bit of a bummer. But overall, I said that at the start of the season, top half would be nice. So really aiming for a kind of 8th or above. And we did that fairly comfortably. You can see the table's actually very close in terms of points. There's not a lot between people. Perhaps Chengdu slightly running away with it, but say from I guess from 9th to 2nd to be separated by 19 points isn't a lot really in the grand scheme of things. So okay, I covered last episode about the board takeover. You may remember. We had a board takeover in progress. You'll see by the nice sharp rise that we're out of debt for now. And I say for now because the really clever human beings who took over my club, my beloved Beijing IT, decided not to put any of their own money into the club, but instead to take out a loan which we won't ever be able to pay back in order to get us out of debt. So they've taken out a £3.3 million loan at £11,000 a week. I can guarantee you now that's not going to work, because we're not making any money unless we can go on a really good Champions League run, and that is indeed if we can qualify for the Champions League. We're just going to be making a bigger loss each month. So I was a little bit peeved off when the takeover was complete, and they're like, yep, we've completed the takeover, we've taken you out of debt, but we're not going to put in any of our own money at the moment. So that kind of annoyed me a little bit, but I guess it's just one of those things. I wouldn't be surprised if we have another takeover in 2 to 3 years. That'll be if I'm still at the club then. It's a bit annoying because I've obviously come to Beijing IT and the money was, well, I thought the money was good because the amount they were allowing me to spend on wages, and now looking at it, it's like a situation where I've hit a stumbling block of that my wage budget's £9,000 a week. I'm spending a little bit over £10,000 a week on my wage budget, and I can't afford to cut down the squad because otherwise I'm not going to have a big enough squad for the league. So I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place in that regard. Just looking at final performances for the season before we go into the FA Cup games. As you can see, Perez, Hunso and Sunday still making all those appearances. I say Hunso stopped scoring goals, or rather, I was about to say he stopped scoring goals. He still managed to score 36 goals in 35 games, so I really can't complain. And Zeus did add quite significantly to his tally for the season in the last 6 games. He got 7 goals, so 7 goals in 6 games, really impressive stuff by him. Made up for the fact that Hunso was only scoring 1 goal a game, I suppose. In terms of top performers at the club, Hunso and Zeus really leading the way along with Kung Ho. These 3 guys spearheading our attack. They've been sublime for us this season, and Bin Bin, Mantega, and Wayne Zhan when he's played. The midfield's been really solid this year. Defensively, the ratings aren't, I guess, what you'd call crazy, but a lot of people above 7s, that's kind of what you want to see your players averaging. It just means they're having solid seasons. I consider anything above about a 7.3 to be a player who's really had a good season. So a few players have definitely turned up this season for us. I haven't really planned the transfers and stuff because I haven't been given any kind of financial transfer changes, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how, well, they've not given me any transfer budget or any additional wage budget since the takeover, so I can't really plan too far ahead in terms of bringing players in. But as for the season, I think it's been a good season for the club. Very happy. If you watch the previous episode, you'll know that I said that I'll be covering the FA Cup 2 legs in one long video for you guys as a kind of end of season closer. So I'll join you for those. Thank you for watching as always, guys. If you could smash the like button, it really helps me out. The likes on the videos have slowly been declining of late, and it'd be nice to get us kind of back on track. But other than that, thank you for watching. As always, now I'm just rambling, and I ramble every time at the start and end of every video. I need to stop. But no, thank you very much for watching, guys, as always, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. It's me, Jack, and I'm out.